What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's episode of The Man
and Nolan Show.
I'm Andrew Heidemann,
I'm Connor Nolan.
and we got a lot to talk about this week. So let's get right into it. So starting off this week, we got the NFL. So Connor, we saw the Patriots claim first place in the AFC East. What do you think about that?
Oh, let me just tell you, I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest with you. And I don't know why I'm surprised. Because the Pats have it all there. Their defense is locked down. And, Mac Jones is really fitting. And I've gone over this point multiple times over the last couple of weeks. Mac Jones is that quarterback that fits in the Bill Belichick system. Bill Belichick is like one of those old-timey coaches like Tom Landry who has a system and you don't go against it. There's maneuverability within it, but you don't go against it. Tom Brady was that, and I think Mac Jones is that. So I think that, and Tom Brady in his own right is obviously very talented without Bill Belichick. Absolutely talented without Bill Belichick. But Tom Brady fit in well with that system, and so does Mac Jones. So I'm really excited to watch the Pats from now on. Again, I'm from Connecticut. I have an affinity for the Pats. I love the Pats. I grew up a Cowboys fan. I will openly admit that because of my father. But I never grew up hating the Bills. So I'm liking this competition between the two. I love to watch this competition. I mean, frankly, the Bills lost it. I don't know what was going on with them. Josh Allen was kicking butt in the beginning of the season. The Bills' defense was pretty solid. They had a good run game. They have good receivers. They have Cole Beasley. So we're watching the Bills start to lose a little bit, and that's interesting because now the Pats are coming up and they're going, okay, it's post Tommy time. Now we're gonna get into it and we're gonna go kick some butt, and that's what they're doing. This is really exciting. I mean, just a couple stats from this week, right? Mac Jones, 22 for 26. He threw one interception. He did. And the Falcons, I think, got all the way down to the Pats 16. Right? That's the only thing they had that game. The Pats defense was locked down. I mean, Kyle Van Noy, I think he had 2 sacks that game.
Yeah, and he picked off the Falcons used 3 quarterbacks during the game.
Yeah,
they had Matt Ryan, Josh Rosen, and then I think his name is Philippe Franks. He used to play at Arkansas.
They put their 3rd string quarterback in which I think Van Noy picked off.
Yeah, no, they all got picked off.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, Josh Rosen, and Philippe Franks all got picked off.
Because some more stats for this, right? The Pats only allowed 13 points in the last 3 games for defense. That's wicked insane.
That's crazy.
They're
turning it on now.
Oh, yeah.
Belichick's just let's go.
And this is their longest win streak since they went 8-0, I think 2018 or 19, which is Brady's last season.
Yeah.
So they are really turning it on, and I'm really excited, especially being from New England. It's fun to watch. It's really fun to watch, and it's just, and I'm excited. And again, it's insane. But if you ever want to put Belichick down last season, I'm like, hold on, guys, don't put Bill down yet, because look what he was doing.
Bill didn't have any pieces though last season.
Bill didn't have pieces,
and he even said it himself.
Yeah, he goes, he didn't have pieces. And I forget the name of the starting safety for the Pats, right? But he's a veteran. He's a really good.
His name is.
Belichick was talking about him the other day.
Yeah, Devin McCourty.
Yes, that's
Devin
right.
McCourty.
Yeah. I don't think it was him he was talking about. Someone else. I think they run a strong safety and a free safety. So defense. So it was one of the. It wasn't McCourty. It was the other guy.
Was it Duggar?
Maybe.
It was the guy they drafted in the 2nd round a few years ago, and everyone gave the Pats they gave Belichick crap for it.
He's a veteran now.
Yeah.
He's a really good player. And I said the Pats had the pieces, because remember, Belichick is he was the defensive coordinator for the Giants under he had Lawrence Taylor. And he kicked butt with them.
Oh yeah.
So now Belichick knows defense, and he has the pieces for offense now, and he's straight killing it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about the whole Pats?
I mean, I think that the Pats, they're starting to kind of, get their chemistry going. Mac Jones coming from Alabama, right? He was already in that system with, with Coach Saban. You know, he already kind of knew how to run pro style offense. You know, it's Alabama. They get you ready for the NFL, right?
Yeah.
They're an NFL powerhouse. You know, the amount of first round picks or just NFL draft picks in like general.
Yeah.
You know, you could just definitely see that, like, you know, a lot of guys who come from Alabama already know how to handle the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you always see on those like NFL meme pages, it's just like how they do the ranked tiers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
and they
absolutely.
Always put Alabama right there.
Yeah.
Alabama could take on any NFL team. You're right. Alabama prepares people to play in the NFL.
But that's true. But going back to the Pats, though, it's just like the Patriot way, right? When everyone said that, like, Tom Brady left, he left with the Patriot way. But they were forgetting that the Patriot way was Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
It was two things. Like, Tom Brady just went up to the guys and was just like, you got to get your act together. Otherwise, I'm not throwing you the ball.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's a leader right there.
But yeah, exactly. But Belichick was just like, I'm going to back Tommy up on this one.
Yeah.
You know? And so when Tom, you know, I mean, we talked about this before, right? But when Tom Brady leaves, when he left, you know, everyone was like, oh, you know, Patriots are, you know, washed. Belichick, so, you know, Tommy's trying to prove this to Belichick. Blah,
and he
blah,
went,
right?
Tommy went and won a Super Bowl.
Well, he did. But now it's Belichick's time of saying, hey, Tommy, I'm going to go and prove it to you as well.
Yeah.
So, but the Pats are clicking right now. They're clicking, and it's really cool to see. You know, you have Mac Jones, young guy. You have guys like Nelson Aguilar, who was an afterthought on the Eagles. You have Kendrick. You have Kendrick Bourne, who used to play on the 49ers, and everyone was. He started balling out last season. Patriots went and said, okay, well, fine, we'll go and get him. They got Hunter Henry from the Chargers in free agency. Jonnu Smith, who really hasn't done much, but Hunter Henry, back to Hunter Henry, he's done insane things in the end zone. I mean, seriously, he has been their top red zone, like, tight end threat. He's tall, he's perfect, you know, for that Belichick offensive system, right? And they still got other guys like Jacoby Myers, who's still coming in and, you know, he's getting those catches, he's getting those yards on drives. He's making that offense churn, right? And so you have the pieces, and now that they're all clicking, they've had weeks to get together. You got defensive guys like J.C. Jackson, Kyle Van Noy, who you just said who signed with the Dolphins, and then the Patriots just went and got him, right? And then you got guys like Jamie Collins, who the Patriots just picked up from the Lions because they released him. You got a lot of guys that are now coming together and saying, you know what, let's go and prove to the world that we're gonna go and make a run.
Belichick knows how to build football teams.
Absolutely.
Belichick knows how to build football teams. I think his dad was a coach for Navy at one point, actually.
Yeah.
So his entire life has been football. So he knows how to build football teams. I mean, look at what he did with Edelman, Chris Hogan. These are guys that Chris Hogan played lacrosse in college. Lacrosse. He played lacrosse. And look what he did with them.
Yeah.
Look what he did with Edelman.
Yeah.
I mean,
Edelman was a quarterback at Kent State.
Yeah. Edelman, the scroll. I love Edelman. Edelman's like one of my favorite receivers ever. I love Chris Hogan. I mean, Amendola, he was no name beforehand. But still, he took, Sonny Michel, I think, right? He was a no-name type of guy too. Belichick took a chance on him after a knee injury, and he was on the Eagles, I think, actually.
Sonny Michel? No, they drafted Michel.
They did?
They drafted Michel, and then they traded him to the Rams earlier in the season. But Michel hadn't played a lot of games because he kept getting injured.
Because it was his knee too.
But speaking of running backs, now running backs this game against the Falcons in particular.
Yeah.
What's his name? Damian Harris.
Yeah.
Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. They both split carries for the Pats during the game.
Yeah.
All right. So Ramondre Stevenson had like 16 carries for 69 yards, and then Damian Harris had like 14 carries for like 64 yards. And I mean, it was pretty even.
It was very even.
It was pretty even.
And the only offensive touchdown of that game though was Mac Jones to Aguilar. Right?
Yeah.
And the rest were all defense.
Yeah.
The rest were all defensive touchdowns.
Yeah. So it was, it was really cool to kind of like see like this emergence of Ramondre Stevenson because he literally 4th round, 120th overall pick of the 2021 draft. Like this guy's, granted he's a 4th round pick, it's still kind of up there.
Yeah.
But Belichick obviously saw something in him. They had guys like James White, Sonny Michel. they had both of them leading their backfield. When you have injuries and injuries, they also have Brandon Bolden.
Yeah.
But injuries upon injuries, right? You need lots of depth at the running back position.
Yeah.
And the fact that Belichick went and got him with a 4th round pick. I mean, now he's starting to turn it on. I mean, we even saw it in the preseason. If you go back and look at the preseason and the Pats, Ramondre Stevenson was a household name. Man was running all over the field.
Yeah.
He was making plays for that Pats offense, and it was really cool to see. You know what I mean? And so, we are going to start seeing everyone out there watching this. Connor, we are going to watch Ramondre Stevenson start to emerge in these next upcoming games.
Oh my.
And something, lastly, I want to add to the Pats game before we wrap up here. 5-0 in their last 5 games. Before that, they were 2-4.
Yeah, they were 2-4.
They're on a 5-game win streak right now.
And
the Pats are one of the hottest teams in football.
And that is the longest, I said, since they had Brady. The longest win streak they had since they went 8-0, I think, was 2019. 2019, I think. So this is exciting to watch.
Yeah.
But let's keep an eye on the Pats. Anyways, let's hop over to the NBA now.
Yeah. So on to the NBA. So earlier this week, the Sacramento Kings fired their head coach.
And rightfully so.
Rightfully, I mean, seriously, the Sacramento Kings' last winning season was 2005, where they had a first-round playoff exit to the Spurs. Now, Connor, the Sacramento Kings, I mean, seriously, what do the Kings got to do? I mean, what do you think? What do you think they got to do to start
rebuilding? They haven't been
rebuilding?
in the playoffs for 16 years, right? So it's just this is called a front office problem. This is also called a coaching problem, right? And because young guys, right, you get to the NBA. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's just a problem with players and morale, saying I'm in the NBA now. I don't care if I win games. I have a contract. I'm in the NBA. You know what I mean? But personally, I know myself. If I was in the NBA, I would hope I would never fall into that and be like, dude, I'm in the NBA. I want to go win titles. I want to win championships. So it's just I know I can't be the next Larry Bird, but it's just I want to go win championships.
Yeah.
I want to go make a name for myself. I want to go play games. So to me, this is a mixture of all three, right? Are you getting a coach that motivates your players? Do you have a coach that says, all right, we're going to go, and demands the respect to your players, earns the respect to your players, right? I mean, this is probably the best thing their front office has done in a while, because you fire a coach that stinks, right? And you bring in somebody who wants to motivate young men. And because some of them are in their 30s now, they got wife, kids, blah, blah, blah. But you draft people into the NBA 18 years old. That's how old we are, right? We get drafted into the NBA, right? You still need a father figure in a sense in your life, and you get a coach that can motivate young men like that. Then you can put together a good basketball team. You can put together a good football team, baseball, hockey. I don't care what it is. You can put together a good team. And so I think it's the best decision their front office has made in a while. I really hope that they get somebody that gets in there to motivate them.
Well, and see, and that's a good point. But I think also with the Kings, and this is personally what I think they need to do, is bring in, a very cerebral guy who knows how to specifically I'm not saying that their old coach didn't, but I'm just saying bring in a young guy, so a little bit of energy, a little bit of fire, someone who wants to prove themselves, right?
Early to mid-40s, probably.
Yeah. He's very cerebral with the game, knows how to draw up some very weird plays you probably wouldn't see nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Get in a few
some of that old school stuff.
Yeah, get in a few older, more veteran players, kind of like Chris Paul with the Suns, right?
Yeah.
And then have your younger guys just sit, back and say, get a vocal veteran leader and just say hey, you guys need to wake up. You guys need to get your act together and let's go out and play some good basketball. You know what I mean?
And I think as I said, it kind of goes back to that father figure in a sense.
Exactly.
Exactly. Because the thing is that basketball is very unique to that.
Yeah.
You get a couple older guys, and then you get 2 or 3 older guys on a starting lineup, and you get 2 or 3 younger guys on a starting lineup, depending on where the balance goes.
Yeah.
You get that kind of, and you get a good coach as well who is cerebral, who's also very attentive to his players. You get a good basketball team.
Yeah.
And you get a good chemistry going. But you have to demand that your players show up to play.
Absolutely. And so, we'll see what the Sacramento Kings do, but, I mean, I think that there's no reason why they can't, do what the Phoenix Suns did, get some veteran guys and, get a brand new head coach in and, turn that organization around. So, but, we wish the Kings well and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
So, anyways, moving on. Also in the NBA, LeBron James and Isaiah Stewart. Yeah, they got into it. And there was some bloody noses. And, I mean, Connor, tell us about what do you think?
Well, I get it. Emotions run high when you play sports.
Yeah.
Just going back. Me and you both played sports in high school, and you're still a college baseball player.
Yeah.
The most emotional I've gotten thus far about sports in college has been watching sports and intramural dodgeball. So but it's just when men get competitive, they get competitive. They're like two bulls running into each other head to head. So but the thing is though is that there comes a point. It's not hockey. You can't get into fights like you can in hockey, right?
Yeah.
There's a time and place for things. Basketball, you can't do that in my opinion. There's certain sports that allow it, like hockey. You can beat the crap out of each other in football. And you can do the same. Basketball is a physical sport.
But you have to be very smart about it.
Kind of
like football.
Exactly.
Kind of like football.
Exactly. Like with football, you could sneak. Your when you're on the line blocking, you could sneak your forearm into someone's throat. I don't recommend it. It's a dirty thing to do, but you can do that. Basketball, you can elbow somebody if you do it smartly.
Absolutely.
I don't recommend it, but just play tough. And it's just, and when you get someone like it's LeBron James, who's a wicked good basketball player.
Yeah,
and again,
absolutely.
I respect LeBron James and how he plays basketball. I respect him as an athlete. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's again and this is just me looking at LeBron James as an athlete. He's an excellent athlete, and he knows the game, and he is a good. I think I don't think he's a bad mentor to some of the younger guys. And it was a couple weeks ago he was out, and you just saw him on the sidelines, and you could tell he wanted to get out there and play. That he still kind of has that itch for the game like Brady does, like all that stuff for football. And you saw him just kind of coaching these younger guys.
Oh yeah,
which was and that's a good thing to see, as I said, talking about the Kings. But LeBron James, and he's not normally one to get into tussles with people. You don't see that normally in basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, really just emotions are probably running high, tensions are running high. But, again, basketball isn't a sport where you could do that. It's different in hockey. They allow you to brawl it out in hockey. I love watching the old videos from, in the 70s and 80s with, the Quebec Nordiques, which no longer exist, and the Canadians or something like that, or the Bruins and the Rangers, just getting it on, man. They just beat the ever-living crap out of each other. But again, that's hockey. We're talking about basketball here. It's a totally different game, and you got to keep your composure. You know what I mean? Take it out of the court.
Yeah, they're professionals. Yeah, they got to keep their composure. Just play your game. People are going to be chirping, but
leave it all on the court.
It happens.
It happens.
We're athletes. It happens. But
we all had our moments playing sports, doing that stuff.
Exactly, but they get paid millions of dollars. Just keep your composure. It's okay.
Hockey,
it
they get the right to. They get paid the least out of all the professional sports.
Yeah, but just keep your composure. Some other things about this. LeBron, he got suspended 1 game. Stewart got 2.
Did Stewart start the fight?
I think he instigated it.
Yeah, definitely instigated it. Because again, you don't see that from LeBron. LeBron's not going to fight back unless he feels threatened to.
Yeah, but also LeBron forfeited $284,000 of his salary.
Yeah.
Stewart forfeits $45,000 of his salary as well. So I thought it was pretty fair.
That's pretty
Stewart got suspended 2 games. Had to pay less money.
LeBron has been 1. He paid more.
And he's it's pretty. I think it's
and when you're
pretty
a superstar
justified.
When you're a superstar like LeBron, you could afford to.
That's probably pocket change for the man.
Yeah. Come on, it's LeBron James.
Seriously. So, anyways, it just. I don't know. I think that fight. I saw it. It was all over ESPN. It was all over everything. It was all over House of Highlights on Instagram. It was over everything, and they, everyone took the narrative, and just saw it, and you're just like, oh, bloody fights, and it just brought in more people. But anyways, no, that was pretty good.
Yep.
But and that's it for the NBA, and now we're on to the NHL, hockey, everyone.
Hockey.
This is new. We have never covered hockey on the show. So, Tampa Bay center Brayden Point was sidelined indefinitely for an upper body injury in the recent game he played against the Lightning. The Wilds, excuse me. In the first period of the game. So, Connor, 10-4 in the Eastern Conference. What do you think? Is this a big blow to their team?
Again,
10-4.
Watching the Tampa Bay Lightning, they are a pretty good hockey team. They're number 3 in the Eastern Atlantic. But when you lose a center like that, and that is a key player right there, and he did play the rest of the game, from what I heard.
Yeah, he did. He finished the game. He did finish the game. Yeah,
he did finish the game. But the thing is that this is probably one of those injuries where you get into the locker room, you get examined on, you get looked over,
and the doctor.
Like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And so,
don't do it. Yeah.
And the thing is that when you have a team like the Tampa Bay Lightning who are continuously good, the Tampa Bay Lightning, have been continuously good for years.
Yeah.
They're a good, solid hockey team. I'm a Bruins fan. I get a little frustrated with the Tampa Bay Lightning sometimes just because they're always good.
Yeah.
Or the Bruins was like, guys, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And the Bruins just had a good game the other night. They shut out who they played. I forget who they played, but they shut them out like 5-2.
Probably the Coyotes.
It was the Coyotes. You're right.
Was it actually?
I think it might have been the Coyotes. I was gonna say the Coyotes.
That's funny. Worst team in the NHL.
Yeah,
it's sad being a fan. Oh man, it's rough.
But it's just,
they've been bad forever, dude.
But the thing is that an upper body injury, especially in hockey, those are pretty common because he got the penalty shot and then he played for the rest of the game. And so when you have an injury like that, I think that it can be scary because you don't know what the exact upper body injury is. It could be like a punctured lung. That could be a torn tricep. Tricep or bicep, whatever it is. Like that's all upper body. It could be anything. Torn chest. That could literally be anything. Or it's just that he has a lot of contusions on his ribs. So it's just you don't know exactly what that means. But if people are saying that he's sidelined indefinitely, then that's typically not a good thing. But I wouldn't count him out just yet until you get an actual medical report. People, so we can make an analysis on it. But here's the thing with Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah.
They, as I said, they're a good hockey team.
Of
they
course.
got it together. But this is where it's crunch time, and they're going to start to figure it out. Can we play without Point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can our center?
Yeah.
Without our, if we put our secondary guy in, right? Can we play without him? Is he gonna? Are we gonna be less aggressive of a hockey team? You know what I mean? Are we gonna let the Bruins catch up to us now? Are we gonna Are we gonna get pushed around by the other guys in the Eastern Atlantic? You know what I mean? Are we gonna go down now? So this is tragic because again they're 10-4. The Bruins are 9-5. I forget. I can't remember who's number 1 right now. But it's. And the Canadians I think are in last place. No surprise there. But I think that again, it's crunch time now for the Lightning. And they have to really fight this one out. Because, again, crucial player,
yeah. But, hey, next man up, you know what I mean?
Next man up. And that's just called being a man. Go out and play your...
Well, that's being a professional.
Being a
professional athlete. Next man up. Something happens, you got to step up.
You get paid for that stuff, man.
Absolutely. Kind of like one of the last things we want to talk about with the NHL today is the Islanders. They got a new stadium.
It's always fun.
I know, new stadium.
Facilities.
I saw a picture and it looks really nice, and I think their fans are very happy about it.
I would be happy about it.
Brand new stadium. The Islanders. They're up and coming. It's looking good for them, and it was just really really cool. Their stadium's really nice. It's really big too.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a really 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 big kind of like dome, and it's really nice.
You know what's fun about hockey too is that because the Bruins play at the Garden.
Yeah.
You have all of these different facilities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when you get a new facility, you feel like a new team.
Yeah.
You feel like refreshed. You feel your morale's put up.
Yeah.
And I haven't paid attention much to the Islanders really at all this season because again I don't really like the Islanders. I'll be front with that. I don't like the Islanders. My dad likes the Islanders.
Does he really?
Yeah, he does. He didn't pay attention to hockey that much. I don't even like the Islanders. Islanders. It's just,
Yeah.
and it's just like, but things though, it's a morale booster. I genuinely believe it's a morale booster.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, if TD Garden got an overhaul, which TD Garden's awesome.
Yeah.
But, if TD Garden gets an overhaul, I expect the Bruins to play a little bit better than they have been. You know what I mean? So it's just, I think that the Islanders, when you get, as I said, you get a new facility, it's a morale booster. And it's certainly noteworthy because, you see all these new NFL stadiums. Like when the Cowboys got AT&T Stadium built.
That was big.
Oh my, dude. That houses 90,000 people?
It was insane, and Jerry spent unlordly amounts of money.
You sit there like, oh man, God bless you, Jerry.
Dude, I took a tour of that stadium, and they just said the number, and I was like,
that's right, you're from Texas.
Oh yeah, no.
Because again, they always
Jerry spent too much money on that.
And the thing is, they used to play an old Texas stadium down there, down in Dallas and stuff like that, and they always say when you caught a touchdown in Texas Stadium, God smiled, and I hope he smiles still when the Cowboys catch touchdowns.
I mean, better. Jerry spent
Jerry spent a lot of money.
He spent a lot of money on that thing.
Listen, that's a lot, but it's just like, God bless Jerry Jones and having that much money, because I would be a cheapskate and be like, Texas Stadium's fine enough, we'll get you a new toilet. You know what I mean? It's just like, so it's just, I really hope to see with like the Islanders, I hope that's a morale booster for them,
Absolutely. But yeah, no. So anyways, thank you all for joining us, guys. Please sure to hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and
follow us on social media.
Yeah, follow us on social media. We're gonna be trying out some new stuff. We're gonna be more communicative with you guys, because we feel like we've been a little bit lacking in that, especially on social media. So, please, thank you for tuning in. Please share with your friends, family members, everything. My name's Andrew Heidemann.
I'm Connor Nolan.
And this is The Man
and Nolan Show.
We'll see you next week, folks.
See you guys.
Thank you for joining us.